John Maxwell had a great saying about this, and I resonate so much about it. He said, everything rises and falls on leadership. Because whether we like it or not, we all have to lead our siblings, we have to lead our families, we have to lead colleagues, we have to lead teams, lead our businesses, but most importantly, we need to lead ourselves. So what kind of a leader are you? For me, my vision of leadership has always been this statue. To the Filipinos, I don't know if you know this, there is a statue on Paseo de Rojas corner, Makati Avenue. It's a statue of one of our Katipunero heroes. His name is Pio del Pilar. And I don't know if you visualize him now. He has his sword on one hand and his pistol on the other hand, and he's like, "Sugod na mga kapatid! Sugod na mga kababayan!" Looking back. And for me, for the longest time, that was my vision of leadership. Somebody so commanding, so strong, and sometimes being even able to instill a little fear in us. But that's not how I lead today. Because about 10 years ago, I met my formators. I'm a Malaysian, his name is George Gan, and then an American, his name is Warren Grostad. And together, the two of them planted this seed in me called servant leadership, that to lead, you needed to serve. And at that time, it was so revolutionary, so counterintuitive, so countercultural. And actually, it took a whole pandemic for that seed that was planted in me to bloom and to grow. So what if I asked each and every one of you here today, what if to truly succeed in these times, you don't have to be a General Pio del Pilar or even General Douglas MacArthur, but lead with humility, service, and love. And that's what I call leading from behind. Actually, my rightful place, I feel so uncomfortable here. Actually, I moved out of the red dot because that was like, this red dot is like, stay here within this red dot. Actually, for me, I feel my rightful place is actually there, right in the back. Literally leading from behind. A change in perspective. Diba? I mentioned General Pio del Pilar, right? He was holding his sword, holding his pistol, and then he's shouting, looking back, shouting like that. Sugod na! And then I was like thinking, why is he looking back? Baka wala na siyang katama. Siya na lang pag-isa. Pupunta doon. Diba? Whereas if you lead from behind, actually you see everyone. You see who's fast, who's slow, who's just standing, who's not following instructions, who's a bit wayward. You see everyone. And yet, no, not yet. And you still see the road ahead. Leading from behind. Let me start off with the first one, humility. I think the world is now devolved to Basically, just two words and three letters. Do you know what those are? Two words, three letters. I and me. Everything is about I, me. To be here on this stage, to get all the accolades, awards, likes, follows, blue check. What if it's a change in a perspective and saying, it's not about me. It was never about me. And that's the mindset I bring in as much as I can every day. I remember we had this meeting with one of our owners, and finance made a big boo-boo in terms of one of the reports. And right from the get-go, at the start of the meeting, I admitted our mistake and I took responsibility. And I think that set the stage for trust. Rick Warren has another amazing quote about humility. He says, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but thinking about yourself less. The second is service and not to be served. To continue, I, me, everyone. This world is saying, how can I use you? How can I leverage on you? How can I manipulate you so that I'm able to reach my goals, my aspirations, my objectives faster, quicker, easier, even cheaper? How about change in mindset where, how can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I be of value to you? How can I support you? And I always get these puzzled looks every time I see owners of properties that need help, that need our management expertise. And they're like, wait, you're giving me all the solutions. And this is just our second meeting. And we don't even have a contract. Yeah. And even if I don't get that contract, I will connect them to someone who can help to serve and not to serve. And the last one is love. And people think love is, mushy, soft, weak. But for me, love is actually the foundation of everything meaningful. We are in tourism, and I so believe that our country, the Philippines, is actually a symbol of God's love. And that's why we have the best people in terms of service. And our land, if you get to go around the Philippines from Batanes all the way to Zamboanga, it is so beautiful. And our role is just to return that love back by highlighting it, showcasing it to the world. And if I didn't have that love, I would have surrendered during the pandemic because all I could see were the zeros. Zeros in terms of revenue, zeros in terms of occupancy. So how has that helped us embracing leading from behind? From down to one property during the pandemic, actually we're now up to 12 all over the country in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. From having such a hard time employing people, getting the best of the best, now they sign up. And not only that, they stay. And for me, from from someone who was depressed and lost during the pandemic, I'm actually now grateful and blessed. So let me end with this. How will you lead? Think if you led from behind, how would your families be like? How about your teams, your colleagues? How would they feel? How about your business? How would it be like? How would you be like? How would our country be like? Because I believe, not everything will rise if you led from behind. Thank you very much.